Hello everyone. Today is day 18 of us solving 30 problems in 30 days, and let's start with it. So the problem is time series forecasting of stock prices with ARIMA model. I don't know what this model is. We have never used it in our previous 7 problems. So let's start it. It says that my session is expired. Let me minimize it and say, hey, today is day 18 of the challenge. Let me move it. I think you cannot see it, right? So today is day 18 of the challenge, and the problem title is, so let's, we are following the same flow for this problem as well. We will be asking questions from ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will assist us with the moving forward on how to solve it with the code, with the explanation if required for every machine learning jargon. Since this is the first problem with ARIMA model, so we will understand what this model is, how does it work, and yes, so this is going to be the flow for solving this problem. Ideally the chat gpt should okay, exactly. So it, wait, and it started generating. Cool. So it says, great Akriti. I am not Akriti. I don't know why it is picking Akriti, because last time I Akriti is my sister's name. Strange. Okay. So let's get started with your day 18 challenge. The time series forecasting for of stock prices with the ARIMA model. ARIMA is auto regression integrated moving average. Okay, auto regressive integrated moving average model is a widely used statistical model for forecasting time series. So it is widely used with which type of model? Statistical method for forecasting time series data. So this is a problem on forecasting time series data, and it combines three components. The model combines three components. First is auto regressive, integrated, and moving average. So regressive is the model uses past values of the series to predict the future value. That okay. Integrated, it makes the series stationary by differentiating the data, which means subtracting the previous values with the current from the current. Okay, so it gets the it makes the series stationary by differentiating the data, which means the previous value and the current value, the difference of that, and it incorporates the dependency between an observation and a residual error from a average model applied to lag. I do not understand. Can you explain it in simple words, please? Possibly with an example. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's break it down with a simple example and easy to understand terms. So ARIMA, as we saw, it stands for auto-regressive integrated moving average. It is used to forecast future values in the time series. It is used to forecast future values in a time series, like predicting stock prices over time. Okay. Um, I think weather forecasting will also be a time series forecasting, right? I'm not sure. I'll ask ChatGPT. But yeah, so this model is helpful for predicting future values in a time series, like predicting stock prices over time. Now there are key components that we saw. Uh, so auto-regressive means that the model uses past values, previous stock prices, to predict future values. Okay, think of it like, if we know the stock prices for the last few days, we might use those to predict what today's price might be. Makes sense. That's what we do, uh, even without a model, right? So if we want to evaluate what could be the value of banana, so what I'll do, I'll track the value of banana in like previous week, all the days in the previous week or 2 weeks, and I might predict the value of the banana. So, for example, it says if you knew that the stock price was $100 on Monday, 102 on Tuesday, 104 on Wednesday, you might predict that it will increase similar in on Thursday, which is going to be 106. Do you see the pattern here? Yes. Now integrated. So this is auto-regressive, that is uses the previous value to predict the future values. Integrated. Sometimes data might be moving up or down over time like a trend. To make predictions easier, ARIMA model removes the trend, making the data more stationary. So it what it does, it removes the element of um this trend, that is it spikes up, spikes down. So how does it do that? It gets the stationary value, which is the subtraction of the current value to the previous value. So if the stock price increases $2 every day, the integrated part will take out that the $2 jump, so that it's easier to see the pattern. So here it is increasing from 100 to 100 to 100 to 204. So do you see the integrated value is 102 to minus 100 is 204 to minus 102 is 2. So the integrated value is 2, the in stationary value. And moving average, this part looks at the errors in the past prediction. Okay, it tries to correct for those errors by considering the difference between the predicted prices and the actual. Okay, so it in the past. So what it does, it works on the error that is it has made in the past predictions. Like, uh, for example, we are predicting that the price would be $2. So if we and it jumps to $3 by $3, so we will be correcting it. And what example it says that if you have predicted that the stock would rise by $2 every day, that we saw through the example, but it only goes by $1, the model will use that mistake to improve the model prediction. So what we have seen, get the pattern, make it stationary, and correct the error. uh, yeah, we have understood, right? So this is what ARIMA model is. So we have understood how it works. So let's start. Thanks. I have understood how it works. Can we start with coding? Yes. So let it generate everything. Okay. So let's start. What we have to do for this problem, it says we will use a set with stock prices. If you don't have a data set yet, you can download the one from Yahoo Finance. It is clickable. Um how do we download it? We will be using Kaggle. We will be using Kaggle. I will be using data set from Kaggle. Can you suggest which problem will be apt here for that? So on Kaggle we need competition name, right? So this is what it is going to say. I should have mentioned the competition instead of the problem. But I think ChatGPT will make sense out of it. So let's wait. Okay, we will wait again. I guess this is the pattern for today's problem. We have to do it like this. uh, yeah, so let's go get the database and share about the pattern to the chat gpt, and then we will ask the chat gpt to give the code in that reference. So we want historical stock market data set. We will, oh, it is too much. The data set looks like, let me remove it. uh, Give you ample data to train. Once you have downloaded paging drive, we can move with the coding. Okay. This should be the MAM historical stock market data. Uh, this looks nice. This looks doable for today's problem. Which problem should we? Okay, we are going ahead with, I don't know which how many things it has downloaded. Let me go to the download folder, unzip it, and go here. We have Netflix, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Amazon .csv. So let's go. hmm let's see which one we should go ahead with. What do you want to say? Which one we should go ahead with? Let's see which one is having more size. Let's say I'm coding it on Mac, which is an Apple device. So yes, let's go ahead with doing it on Apple. So yes, I'll create a file first, Python file, and it is going to be day18.py. Done. Add it to our Git repository, and then move the data set that we have downloaded from the archive section. I don't like the name it gives. Let's rename to stock data set, and let's do stock dataset apple csv to our dataset, and we are done. Now let's do what? We will check it. If it is here, we do see it, right? Now let's load it on our file. Before that, let's mention couple of things. The problem name. The problem is, let me go back to my 30, not hit this post. Get the title of the today's problem and mention it in our code, and the data set is from, not this one, not this one, but this one. So yes, this is the data set. I'm importing the pandas as pd, and step number one is load the data, and it is going to be data from panda read csv data set and apple.csv. Let's print this data head to visualize what type, I mean, how does it look like. So let's run this file, which is day 18, and it looks like this. um, cool. I have got one competition of man historical stock market it data set, and I have loaded the for Apple or CSV, and this is how it looks. Info, let's see how many columns and rows it has. It has these many columns, sorry, rows, and 7 columns. So again, it got stuck. So yes, I think we are in a big trouble. I was facing similar challenge on my day 15. The chat GPT was not working, so I had to like instead of working, doing it for 2 hours, I had to give more than 2 hours, like more, an additional 3 hours, so which was a challenge. So yes, time forecasting of store using Arima on Apple stock data. So let's review the code. What we are doing: load the data and pre-process. Um, Load the data and convert date column to date time format and set it as the index. Okay. Um, okay. Then we will plot it to visualize it. Check what we are going to do. We will load the Apple stock data set and focus on the date and close columns to predict future stock prices. Since Arima requires a continuous time series, we'll set the date column as the index. So Arima requires a continuous time series to forecast and get the previous values and forecast on the basis of that. So we are going to convert it into date time and going to set it as an index. Then we will plot the closing price to visualize the time series. Okay. Check for stationary. For Arima to work well, we need stationary time series. Yes, to get the pattern right. We will check for stationary using a rolling mean or standard deviation. Now, if you remember, standard deviation is used to get the range. Rolling mean we will see. Okay. Uh, and plot rolling statistics. Now then step 3 we did differencing the data to make it stationary. Then we did differencing the data to get the what stationary to make it stationary. Then we are going to fit on our model, and then we are going to make the prediction. Can it the code flow looks a little different today? Is it because of a Rima, or can you maybe make it look like this? Or can we go consistent and make it look and go like this? So I want to go in the similar fashion. Uh, oh, so we have it is I guess going to look a little different. But let me ask even then. We'll do this again. because ARIMA is specially designed for the time series, which requires handling the data in a different way than most other machine learning models that you have worked with. ARIMA is particularly focused on understanding the temporal dependencies, trends, and seasonality, which is why some processing steps like checking the stationary differentiating, referencing the data are necessary. For consistency, however, we will still stick to the flow we are using while making the necessary adjustment to for ARIMA. Let me suggest the flowing. Okay, yes, I say yes. Let's. Would you like to proceed with the? Okay, again, same issue. I was getting the same issue in the morning as well. Let me reload it, and what I did, I upgraded to the latest version also, my Mac, and still I was getting this issue. It is not good. Let's go ahead. If not, okay, we will stick to this thing for today. Maybe today is not the day of going ahead with our thing, the flow. But yes, so what are we doing? We will import pandas, matplot for plotting the graph. We will get this ARIMA model, and then we will plot for this one. Let me do what, and I'm going to use a different context window for generating the, yes, for generating this. Maybe I can use Claude today. No, but yeah, let's start. So I'm going to get it. I'm remove it, and what I do, I'll convert the date columns to date time format and set it as the index. Convert date to date time format and set it as the index. And why we are doing it? Because this is a time series based problem. This is going to be, the date is going to give us the time series, and since the machine learning model understands the date time format, so we are going to go ahead with that. So we'll do what, data date. Do, let me go and check. It had date, right? Yes, it had. I mean, it has date, right? And it, what are we going to do? Data date panda to date time, which this date column, it will convert to date time and update the and save the information in the date itself. Now we will set the index and on date column, and we are going to do it in place. Done, sorted. Then we are going to do what? Plot the closing price to visualize the time series. Now we are going to visualize the time series, and how? Plot the closing prices. Plot the closing price to visualize the time series. Okay, let's do that. So what we have to do, we have to draw a plot. This is going to be the data, um, and okay, title, X label, Y label, legend, and okay, cool. So let's start. For that, we have to import the mat plot dot library py plot as plt. So let's start. Plt dot figure. The dimensions of the figure is going to be 10 is to 7, 10 is to 6, and plot the plot the closing price. So is it going to be data close, and the label is going to be what? Apple stock closing price. Apple stock closing price. Okay, and the plot title is going to be Apple stock closing price over time. Apple stock closing price over stock over time. What is the Apple stock closing price over time? Not time, time. And then X label is going to be the data. Plot X label is going to be the data and date. Sorry. So okay, so data index is this only, right? And that's why we did that. And Y label is going to be the close price, and we will simply show it. Let me run it, and this is how it is looking, date, and this is the closing price. It is consistently increasing. Wow. Let me go and then comment this index thing, right? And let's see what it will do. So it is doing on what? 0, 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000. What is it? I guess it is doing on I don't know. It is doing on something. I guess it is doing on the data. Yes, between 0 to 100 index, it is this. So that's why we updated the index. Understood. Now it makes sense. So we updated the index of our data frame uh, to be the date column, which is the date time format, and use it as index and plot for the closing. So if I save it, uh, hang on, I'll have to close it, run it, and close it, close it, force quit, and done. So I guess we are done with this. We saw how it is performing. Now it was booming at the end. So now in the step 2 we are going to do check for stationary. What we are doing, load and pre process. Okay. In the step 2 what we are doing, load, check for stationary. Step 2 is check for stationary. We saw how stationary. We want to see the static as in the exact change, right? So what we're doing, we need to we need a stationary time series. So we'll check for stationarity using our rolling mean and standard deviation. So I'm going to go ahead here. You're going to use plot and going to say, hey, can you explain in easy words, in easy words. When we have so many AI models to help us, why to get stuck with one. Okay, so the rolling mean, also called as moving average, is a way to smooth our data over time. Imagine you are looking at daily temperatures. You choose a window size, let's say 3 days. For each day, you calculate the average temperature and of that day and the previous 2 days. As you roll through the data, this 3 day window keeps on moving, giving you a smoother trend. It's like looking at the data through a moving window where each point represents the average of. Okay, so we are what we are doing. We are setting a window of a k size, let's say 3 size, and what we are getting, we are measuring the time with an average of that window. Okay. And rolling standard deviation is, it is similar to rolling mean, but instead of averaging, it means how spread out the numbers are within each moving window. Okay. So again, the window size, and we get the standard deviation on the window, not an individual day, or not an individual date. So we get the standard deviation on a window size, right? And this is, and we all know standard deviation is helps us to know how spread out the particular feature is. For each day, you calculate how much the temperature in that 3 day window vary from their average. Standard deviation is we get to know how far it is from the average, right? So a higher standard deviation means that the temperature in that window are more spread out, while a lower means they are more consistent. Okay, while the lower means they are more consistent. So what we'll do, yes, we'll come back here and we'll do that. So we'll do that using, we will check this. And for record, what it is also called is a smoother way over time. Imagine you're looking through a movement where each point represents the average of recent value. Rolling mean is it is like looking at the data through a moving window where each point represents the average of recent values. And rolling standard deviation is what it is, these. So uh, we just get is like mean, but here we are getting how spread out it is from the average, right? So we'll do what, this and this. Okay, so let's go back to our code and do it. So we are going to get the calculate the rolling statistics to check the stationarity. So what we are doing, so we are doing rolling mean is going to be data close. Let me close the window so that you hear less background noise. Data close feature, and here we are getting rolling window size going to be for 12 days, and we will calculate the mean. Rolling standard deviation, I'll just data close rolling window size is 12 standard deviation. We have got it. What we are going to do, we are going to plot it again. So we are going to plot, and then we are going to plot the original, plot the rolling, plot the, what we are going to do, we are going to plot the original close price, we will plot the rolling mean, we will plot the standard deviation, and we will use legend to mark what every particular color represents in the plot. And then yes, what we are doing, plot rolling statistics, plot rolling statistics, and I'll hide it for now, right? So plot a figure, and the size is going to be the same, 10 is to 6. Plot against what, the index text is going to be the date that we have already set at line number 12. The y is going to be here data close close price, right? And the color is going to be blue, and the label is going to be uh, original close price. Okay, then we will plot the rolling mean. The color is going to be red, and label is going to be rolling mean. And then we will plot rolling standard deviation. Color is going to be black, Red, blue, green. I'll go with green, not black. And label rolling standard deviation. And the title is rolling mean standard deviation for stationary jet. Rolling mean and standard deviation for stationarity check, and we will plot the legend as in to see which color represents what thing, and then we will show and clear it. Just give me a second, someone is on the door. I'm going to pause it. I'm so sorry, I had to stop the video and start again because there was someone at the door. So let's start. Yes, yes. Now let's run this thing. So this is how it is looking. The standard deviation. Okay, so the original is this bluish. The rolling mean is coming like this, looking light, and rolling standard deviation is like this. Okay. So we will take what we will screenshot it. Okay, and this is our uh, original, so we will screenshot this also as an original closing prices sorted by, I mean, on the date. Now we are going to do what we are, so we are saying what if the data is not stationary, we'll apply differencing to remove trends and seasonability. Okay, so what we are doing, we are doing the third step. We are doing the third step, which was, if you remember, we are doing the third step, which is if you remember, which is moving average. Okay, so we are applying, right, not moving average, we are fixing actually. Yes, yes, let's come back here. Differencing the data to make it stationary. Now we are doing, we checked for stationarity, but now we are applying. So applying, what we are doing, differencing the data to make it stationary. Differencing the data to make it stationary. So what we are doing, we are doing this. If the data is not stationary, we apply differencing to remove the data trends and seasonality. Okay, the certain spikes up and down. The second step. So first is difference the data to make it stationary. So what we are doing, data diff. So we are getting data diff by data closing price and diff and drop this. What it is doing, let me go back. Uh, Let me come here. Uh, okay, so it has given me the thing. I should stop now. Yes. And I should do what? Can you please explain this? So we have already started the old step, the old way. So we are going to go that way. We will not now change the way in between. So the line, what it does, it is performing the following operation. The diff function calculates the difference between consecutive data points. Okay, that's what the differencing it is going to get the, like we have understood the $2 change we saw, right? This is often done in the time series analysis to make a non-stationary time series stationary, which is important to for model like ARIMA. and it transform each value in the close column to a difference between the current and the previous day's closing price. This step helps move trends or okay. So what it is doing, this step is will calculate the difference. $2 here, it is none. Here it is $2. Here it is $3. Here it is minus $2. Okay. Now this drop any. I was like confused with this. What this is doing? Function removes any rows that contain missing value. Okay. We have been using this for a lot to handle the missing values. We are dropping any column containing the missing values. Okay. So, for example, if this is the output, so the output is for this the difference is none. This two, this three, this minus two. So it will drop this none. Okay, understood. So it will drop the missing value. Now once done, we'll go back to our code and we'll plot the difference data. Now we will do what? Plot the difference data. So what we'll do, Difference. Okay. And plot figure, again we are going to plot a figure. The size is going to be 10 is to 6, and then we will do what? Plot a graph of the date, the different data, as in difference in data, and the label is going to be difference data. Difference data. Difference. Yeah, let me copy this. Okay, still it gives the error. And then the title is difference time series data. Plot title is difference time series data. We will do what? We will plot the legend and we will show it. Let's run it. This is the last, and this is the what? Difference time series data. This is how the difference, here it is a lot, here very less, but here the difference time series data is looking like this. So let's save this as well, and now we are going to fit it and then make prediction. We have done it. So let's, step number 4 is build and train the ARIMA model, ARIMA, auto regressive integrated moving average model. Okay, so we will use ARIMA parameters P, D, Q to control the auto regression, AR, differencing I, and moving average, that we have already understood what these are. So it is going to be model, and we will import first. We will import what? We will have to import ARIMA from stats model.tsa. I don't think I have it from stats model. I don't have it, so I'll have to install it. So I'll say pip install um, okay. So I'm going to do what? Pip stats models. This is a stats model, statistic model. TSA dot ARIMA model, ARIMA model, import ARIMA. Okay, and yes, sorted. It says to ignore the warning. I'm not doing that unless I need it. So we are yet to import this, but we will see why do we actually need it when we'll need it. So yeah, let's fit the model. So I'll come here and I'll say ARIMA. What do I need to pass here? The data, where we have to fit it. The closing price, and then order is going to be 5Q1 0. I don't know what that is, but yeah, let's understand. And then we will fit. Okay, we are storing it. Fit model dot fit, and we will do what? Print summary of model. Summary of model. We will print it. Model fit summary. Okay, but before that, I need to know. Can you please explain here PDQ here about PDQ? Okay, so I'll go not this one again, giving the problem. Come back here, come back here. So I'll go to the official documentation. Maybe here I'll go over, and it says here the model is the basic interface of model is the basic interface of ARIMA type models, including those with exogenous representatives and those with seasonal component. The most general form of the model is PDQ or PDQS. It allows all the specialized cases, including integration model PDQ, seasonal model PDQS. So it is showing what type of model based on the parameters. Here, what this PDQ means. So, uh, okay, in this code, what does PDQ 510 represent? So they represent certainly. I'd be happy to explain the PDQ parameters in the ARIMA model. These three parameters define the structure of the ARIMA. Autoregressive integrated moving average model. P is autoregressive term. D is integrated differential term. Q is moving average. Okay. This represents the number of lag observation in the model. That is, if as in the difference, D means the data will be difference once it, okay, means the model will use 5 previous steps to predict the current value. So we are defining how many previous steps we want to predict the current value. We want 5 previous steps to, we will use the model will use 5 previous steps to predict the current value. Integrated or differential term, this represents the number of times the raw observations are different. In your example, D is equals to 1 means data will be difference once to make it stationary. Um, Example D equals to 1 means the data will be difference once. Okay, how many times the differentiation will be calculated? Okay. Then Q is, this represents the size of the moving average window. Okay, so it Q represents the moving average window size for standard deviation and mean and everything, right? We did. So yeah, Q is 0 means there is no moving average component in this model. So here we suggest we use 5 lagged observation, which means how many previous values we need to consider for to get the difference between the correct value and the previous value. If it differences the data once, it to make it stationary, it different how many times it differences the data once, and it does not use a moving average component. That is um, that is the window size. Okay, so I'm going to comment it here so that we should have some idea. So here, okay, So the parameters, so the PQD parameters define the structure of the ARIMA model, where this P aggressive, D is this, and and this Q is this. Okay, understood. Now we will fit it and then we will print the summary. So I'll comment this and then I will comment this. I don't want to see it again. And yes, yes, I should run it and run this program. And I see that it is throwing an error at line number 18, which is this. Line number 53 actually. It removes the name of the file. 53 is this. So it says uh, takes exactly one argument, three given. Okay, let me come back here. Okay, order. Okay, here. Let's run it, and we do see some warnings, but this is how it is looking. Okay, variable, coefficient, standard deviation, everything. We do not understand it right now, but I am going to leave it for now because I do not want to make things complicated and get myself overwhelmed and not look at solving the problems again in the future. So maybe we will understand and cover a complex version of it in future. But let me see, we have trained our model. So do we need to use this model, trained model? Okay, and then we will forecast, yes, and then we will, so what do, step number 5 to make prediction. Now what we are going to do, we are going to do forecast. We will do what, simple forecast, model field, forecast, casting, forecast what we want. Let me hide it. What we want to forecast, the steps, then steps. So we are saying forecast for 30 days ahead. How many 30? We want it to forecast for 30 days ahead. Okay, for the next 30 days. We will draw the figure now. The size is going to be again 10 is to 6, and then we will draw the plot against the closing value, as in closing price. The label is actual price. Then we will plot forecast and label it predicted price, and the color is red. Plot forecast, label is going to be predicted price, and color is red. And then we will do what? Title is going to be Apple stock price prediction with Arima. Okay. Title is going to be Apple stock price prediction with Arima. Auto regressive integrated moving average. Arima model. You can remove the model also, right? X is data. X is data, the index, the date. Sorry. The Y is going to be the closing price, close price, and we will plot legends as in to see which curve represents what, and then we will show and we will run it. We do see many warnings here, and It says that numpy dot and array object is not callable. Line number 72. This is the line number 72. Let me suppress the warning. So I'll do what we are using. Import warnings, and we need to warning dot filter warnings ignore. Warnings dot filter warnings ignore. We will run it the code again, and we do not see the warning again, but we do see the, it says forecast. This is the function name. So the function name was different. Okay, so this is the predicted and the actual price. This is how it is coming. Let me uh, save it. Let me again take it, and and so it is showing all previous ones. Let me refresh it and then say this is how it is coming. Can you help me decode it, because we are I guess done with it. Yeah, so this is how it is coming. We are done with it. This gives you net framework to perform the time series forecasting using ARIMA. You can treat the model to improve accuracy. Uh, the final plot of close price and forecast did looks like this. Can you help me decode it and discuss how good the model is performing? So if I'll go from my computer, I go to desktop, I'll say this is the image that I'll copy the text because it is not generating it quite good. Thank God it is generating the response now. It got stuck as you saw in the video. Looks like model the plot of Apple stock price prediction model. Here's what we can interpret. The blue line shows the historical actual price of the data we did saw. You can see the stock price stayed relatively low around 2003, and after which there was a sharp rise. Did we see it? Let me open it. This is not the thing that we are looking for. This is the, not this one. Actually, this is going to be yes. Yes, this is it. So this is what it is saying. It is saying that the actual one is um, so after 2023, it has a sharp high spike, right? Okay. After initial climb, we can observe some correspondent correction growth phases leading to fluctuation. Recently, plot post 2018, we saw some, yes, fluctuation. We did see some fluctuation. has seen large fluctuation. Predicted price, which is the red line. This is the red line. It is a dot actually. The red line represents the model's predicted price. It seems to be a short segment in this plot, indicating that it covers only a small part of the predicted future data. It is possible that the forecast might be limited to a few days or weeks, while the plot's time range is much broader. Okay, so we have predicted for 30 days only, and this is what it is coming. For next 30 days, it is going to come here. In this case, ARIMA model seems to predict very small variation in future prices, which appear as a small segment of the red line. So it is predicting somewhere around this for the next 30 days. The model prediction seems quite flat, constantly indicating ARIMA might not be able to capture the highly volatile nature of Apple stock price. ARIMA models are great for data that shows trends and seasonality, but when it comes to volatile financial data like stock prices, especially after 2010 in the graph. Let's go. Yes, here Arima can struggle. Why is Arima struggle? Stock prices are generally volatile with lots of sudden fluctuation. We don't often they often don't follow a clear seasonal or repetitive pattern. Arima works best when there is a visible pattern like trends. Okay, so we do see that why we see very small portion here because we have predicted for 30 days, and for the next 30 days it is saying that the closing price is going to come around here. I feel that it is going to be 160. So yes, I guess now I understand how it is generating. So this we saw today how to use the Arima, what it is. We visualized the plots at various level and saw that the predicted price for the next 30 days is coming as like a very short red line. So let's run it for 300 days. And oh, we do see this large red line. So it is coming around 150 or 155 or 160. Now if we increase it further, so it should be like, let me increase it to 1,000 days. So it is going to be this. So you see the line is increasing, the red line, so it is going to come around here. So yes, um, so yes, this is how the model is working. So let's commit the code. Add code for day 18, push it to the main, and let's check if we do see the 18 code. Yes. Let me go to my repository. I'm really happy to see so many greens consistently here since September 10th. And yes, now after this I'm going to write a progress post that you can find on my tech journal. Like this, you should be seeing it here, and also I'll go and upload this YouTube video after editing a little. So yes, thank you very much, and we'll solve one more problem tomorrow.